The Spanish government is set to approve controversial pardons today, while the World Health Organization warns of a shortage of COVID-19 shots in developing countries. Ian Lee joins us from London with those headlines as well as others. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. Yeah, these pardons are deeply controversial. It all surrounds an illegal and failed attempt by the Catalan region to secede back in 2017. 9 leaders of that movement are expected to be pardoned later today, and they were convicted of sedition by the Supreme Court 2 years ago and sentenced between 9 to 13 years in prison. Spain's prime minister admitted that many will be angry by the decision, but insisted that it's the best way to unite the country and to help find a political solution. But still, a recent poll found 61% of Spaniards oppose the move, as well as the country's Supreme Court. Next, we have a warning from the World Health Organization. A large number of poor countries are at risk of running out of COVID-19 vaccines. The UN's COVAX program does not have enough doses to continue. Officials say the shortage comes as a third wave of infections is hitting Africa. South Africa's president is calling on wealthier countries to stop hoarding vaccines, while pointing out that less than 2% of all of Africa has been vaccinated so far. Earlier this month, the G7 promised 1 billion doses, but some say it's not ambitious enough. We now move on to the Philippines, where President Rodrigo Duterte has a threat for anyone refusing to get vaccinated against COVID-19. If you don't do it, you'll go to jail. He chose some colorful words in his Monday address to the nation, saying he'd arrest them and inject the vaccine in their rear end. The Philippines has recorded well more than 1 million COVID infections and over 23,000 deaths since the pandemic began, but only 6% of the population has been vaccinated. Finally, we are ending with a story we've been keeping an eye on, that plague of mice that has been terrorizing rural eastern Australia, eating crops and damaging property. Well, it's on the move. This time, it forced one of the country's largest prisons to evacuate. Decaying dead mice have caused extensive damage to the infrastructure of the Wellington Correctional Center. There are concerns for inmates' health and safety, so over the next 10 days, 420 prisoners and 200 staff will relocate so the prison can get a deep clean and be repaired. And Anne-Marie, this infestation has caused millions upon millions of dollars worth of damages. Some scientists believe this could be the tip of the iceberg, that if a lot of mice survive until next year, they could have a larger starting population to make things worse. And in my research, I learned a fun fact that I will leave with you. Australia didn't even have mice until they were introduced by British colonists in the late 18th century.
Wow, I say ship them back then. I was joking, that would work. But, you know, it's amazing the rat-related facts that I learn from you every time you cover this story in Australia. Thank you very much.